Now back to the crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
All right, welcome back to the crossover with Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060. You can call into our listener line, 602-260-1060. And be sure to follow us and subscribe to our social media accounts. We're really trying to push that, getting good numbers. We're getting some traction as that's concerned. YouTube and Facebook at the crossover 1060. Once again, that's at the crossover 1060. And today we are live here at the Yucca Tap Room at 29 West Southern Avenue in Tempe, off the southwest corner of Southern and Mill. The Yucca Tap Room voted time and time again best dive bar in Phoenix. They have 29 beers on tap, fun atmosphere, and great food. So come on down, got ourselves a nice little party. It's quieted down a little bit, but I mean,
it has quieted down just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It was a little bit rowdier earlier.
It was.
It was kind of crazy.
Well, as soon as you said that, there they go.
Yeah, they're starting to act up again.
Hey, people, will you also too hit the subscribe button? Click.
Check us out. Because this content that's going over the radio, we're putting this on the air, and we're going to be adding some other fun little tidbits and little video clips and stuff for you guys that should entertain you guys, and keep you guys, clicking that like button and watching the videos. So we're getting some good traction.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, but I want to get into some little entertainment sports buzz.
Okay.
First thing I want to talk about, this has kind of been like kind of the buzz going on, especially in the NBA and the track and field world where like both sports kind of colliding. There was recently a World Track and Field Championships in Budapest, right, in Budapest, Hungary. And Noah Lyles, I don't know if you're familiar with that. Noah Lyles, he won the 100-meter. He won the 100-meter finals, the men's 100-meter finals, as well as the 200-meter finals. So he's a double champion in the 100 and the 200.
Right.
Just came off that, got 2 gold medals. Now, Noah Lyles in a press conference I don't know why he brought this up, but I'm going to be I kind of agree with him to a certain extent, but I think that he went about it wrong. But Noah Lyles, he had something to say about NBA teams calling themselves world champions when they win a championship. This is what Noah Lyles had to say about that.
What hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times. But that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
And that was Noah Lyles, his rant about the NBA.
Come on, man.
Calling themselves world champions. And
come on.
To a certain extent, I agree with him.
Come on, man.
But he didn't have to be that dramatic. But of course, as you would expect, NBA players clap back at the U.S. track star Noah Lyles' world championship comments. This is an article that was put out by Carl Rasmussen a couple days ago, and said Noah Lyles raised eyebrows with his recent comments in which he was critical about the NBA players referring to themselves as world champions after winning an NBA title. And of course, he got clapped back and said among those that weighed in were 2 Phoenix Suns players, and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant being who Kevin Durant is, Kevin Durant, he loves it. He can't help but to walk into some type of social media conflict. He used to do it with the burner phones, kind of like the Cardinals. But he had the little clapback. He said his clapback was this is what he said. Somebody help this brother, wrote Durant. And while Devin Booker commented, his comment was more like an emoji. He simply had an emoji of a face palming emoji, like a hand in the face, kind of like, you got to be kidding me.
Who was the last 3 MVPs? Who won 2 of them?
That'd be Jokic.
Where's he from?
Jokic is from. Where is he from? He's from.
Are they from the United States?
No, he's from. Where is he? Is it Serbia?
Who's name like the top 5 basketball players? You're gonna have Luka Doncic.
You're
gonna have
Joel Embiid. Yeah.
So what's Noah talking about?
All right.
Of course, they're world champions.
You're absolutely right there. But him saying that you guys don't play, I agree with you, but I do have they're champions. Obviously, they're the best team in the world. They're the best quality in basketball in the world. NBA, nobody's going to dispute that. No, I don't even think that Noah Lyles.
The best players, the best professional basketball players in the world are in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely, Marlon. I don't think anybody's disputing that. I think that but I understand what he's saying. Sometimes two things can be right at the same time. Sometimes multiple things are right at the same time.
like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Okay.
Yeah, where you can have. He's right. He's right, and then he's wrong. I think he's right and you're right. Let me say that. You're right that the NBA absolutely has the best talent in the world, bar none. And they have more and more foreign talent now than they pretty much have ever had. And at the same time, they're not technically world champions. They're the best team in the world. I don't think that you would argue that you put them up against anybody else in the world that they wouldn't that NBA champion wouldn't whoop that team.
So if you took the top professional basketball team in the Australian League,
right,
versus the Nuggets, who wins that game?
Of course, it's going to be.
Who wins that game?
Of course, it's going to be the Nuggets.
You take the top basketball team.
He's saying the format isn't set up.
You take the top professional basketball teams,
right,
from their respective leagues, whether it's FIBA, out there in Spain, Italy, Greece, Mexico, South America. You take all those professional teams,
and I get that, Marlon,
and have them play against the Nuggets.
Right.
Who's winning that game?
I get that.
Who's winning?
I get that. It's going to be the
Nuggets.
NBA team. It's going to be the NBA champion.
By a lot.
Put it this way: you could probably take the worst team in the NBA, put them up against one of the better teams in the world, and that worst team, the team with the worst record in the NBA, will still probably beat the best of the rest of the world. So I'm not disputing that with you.
Right.
I'm not disputing that with you. But you know who else kind of agrees with Noah Lyles, even though he hasn't said anything recently, but he said something back in it? Coach Greg Popovich. This is what Coach Greg Popovich said in 2010. Says they kind of compare and contrast. They have back-to-back, this one meme. Says, it doesn't make sense for an NBA team to call themselves world champions. This is Greg Popovich. I don't remember anybody playing anybody outside of our borders to get that tag. Americans don't respond to the rest of the world. This is Greg Popovich discussing the same debate as Lyles, but he did this in 2010. So I kind of agree with Greg Popovich. He's not saying that the NBA talent is.
And then he drafts a kid from France.
Of course, yeah.
Come on, man.
But I agree with him. He's saying we're not playing the rest of the world. We're playing the NBA teams. We're playing, so we're the best in the NBA, and
the best in the world. The best in the world.
But still, you don't need that moniker, world champions.
Yeah, you do. Why not?
You know what? You know who didn't agree? You know who didn't agree with you? Patrice O'Neal, the late comedian Patrice O'Neal. Here's a clip of Patrice O'Neal, because I found this. I thought this was pretty.
That's your dude,
one of my favorite comedians of all time. I had a chance to perform with him 5 shows back in the day before he did the Comedy Central special with. He did the Comedy Central roast, Charlie Sheen.
Sure.
This is what Patrice O'Neal had to say about this whole thing, about the arrogance of Americans and how we go about, how we describe ourselves. Go ahead.
We refer to our sports champions as world champs, and we don't play nobody else in the whole world. We just played people from other cities, man. The Los Angeles Lakers are the world champs of Los Angeles and the rest of the world, because nobody can stop Shaq anyway, so we world champs.
That was Patrice O'Neal. That was, I think, from a Comedy Central special he did back in right around 2003. You come back when you still had Kobe and Shaq and the Lakers. But he's right. He's right. But yes, you're right. That the best talent is obviously in the NBA.
The number one draft pick was not American.
Victor Wembanyama.
The last back-to-back NBA MVP was not American.
Right. And Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he's not American.
No, he's not American. No. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Probably, as a matter of fact,
I
think probably, 4 out of your last 5?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
MVPs were from other countries outside
That's
the United States.
What I'm saying. And then, so the best players in the world are in the NBA.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
Ain't nobody disputing that.
So they world champions.
Not world. That don't make them world champions.
It makes them world
They're
champions.
the best team
There's
in the world.
nobody in the world that's going to
Not
beat the
playing
Nuggets.
anybody else. Play other teams. Like Noah Lyles he races against everybody. He races against Jamaica. He races against Nigeria. He races against France and England and China and Japan.
Right.
So technically he's a world champion. The Lakers, the Lakers. In this case, the Nuggets. This year's NBA champions. They're champions.
Who was
of
the
the
final-
NBA,
and who was the Finals
and they're
MVP?
the best team in the world.
Who's the Finals MVP?
Yeah, but that don't
Who's the
change
Finals
it.
MVP? Answer my question. Who's the Nikola Jokic.
It was Jokic.
Is he American?
No, he's not American, but that doesn't change the fact that they're not playing teams outside the United States
Because
other than Toronto
that's
Raptors.
because the best players in the world are in the NBA.
Yes,
Period.
that, but it still doesn't change the fact that they're playing each other. They're not playing like outside of Toronto. They're not playing teams outside of the United States. Not to really give themselves that time, even though they're the best team they're the best team on the planet, the NBA champion.
Right.
Pretty much just about everybody that participates in the NBA playoffs is better than just about everybody else that you can imagine. Probably at least half the teams that don't make the playoffs are probably better than the best of the rest of the teams in the world. But just saying, man. I'm just saying. We can go ahead and go back and forth and argue this, but we're not, it is what it is, man.
For sure.
We'll agree to disagree to a certain extent. But coming up next, buckle up, folks. It's another entertaining and fun segment with the wacky one himself. It's Crazy Tracy. Crazy Tracy, Team U, live on the Crossover 1060 KDUS radio. Don't go nowhere, y'all.